Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Arcane. This is our live, my name is Matt, hello. Alright, everybody, how are y'all doing today? Hope you're having a nice day. We're getting really close to the end of the show. I think there's only one more episode left. What happened last time? I believe we had The Boy Savior. I believe that was the title of the episode. And we had a really cool fight between Echo and Jinx where the entire Arcane team just flexed. just flex the animation on the entire industry. Also, something I don't think I mentioned during the video, but I did realize and then I forgot. That fight is the fight that you see in the Project L trailer, the League of Legends fighting game. I mentioned it before. I'm very excited about that game because that game looks sick, and I kind of hope that it gets a lot of people into fighting games because fighting games are cool, but people have a really hard time getting into it, which is understandable. But yeah, Project L is coming up, and for the trailer for Project L, they did have Jinx and Echo fight at the bridge, and I think they did show like 5 seconds of the intro to that fight from the show, like footage from the show. And so when I saw that, I was like, wait, shit, I've seen that before. And it was from the trailer, from the Project L trailer. So that's awesome. Yeah, shout outs to Project L. It's probably going to have a different name when it gets properly revealed. Me calling it that, it's only going to be temporary, and it's not going to make any sense in like 2 years. But yeah, shout outs to that. Also, yo, if anyone's playing King of Fighters 15 on PC, let me know. Let's fight sometime, maybe. I don't know. Okay, episode. Vi and Caitlyn are going to Piltover. They have the gemstone. Jinx was trying to get it, and she fought Echo, and Echo beat her, and then Echo couldn't kill her, and then Jinx just kamikaze, just a grenade, and they blew up, and that was kind of that. I think Marcus died. Oh yeah, Victor. Victor is committing human transmutation. He's using the Hex core in combination with a variation of Shimmer that Singe provided to him. So he did that, and we don't know what the result is going to look like. And we also saw that Heimerdinger was seemingly going to the Undercity. I'm not sure what for. And what was Jace up to? Oh, I think I remember that. I don't think we came back to it, but it was something that happened. Mel got a letter, and I don't know what that letter was. We never explored it, so we're probably gonna go into it this episode, probably. And Jace, Jace was like, I'm gonna make the Mega Hammer, the hammer that shoots things or whatever. They want to make a weapon, and I'm not sure how bad that's gonna be, but I think he's gonna make the cool hammer that he has in the game, which part of me is excited to see. Another part of me is like, I don't think this is good, man. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, I think that's it for this intro. One thing I feel like I need to address at this point, I should have probably done so last week, but every episode has been like a nightmare to upload in time to YouTube, because every episode gets blocked immediately by Netflix, and then I can submit a claim that says, hey, this is fair use, and they will usually just say okay, and they'll just make the video public again. The problem is that it takes a couple days, and initially it only took like 1 day, and I was like, oh, perfect, they're doing this, they're being nice about it. And now it's taking like 3 days sometimes. So episodes might be ready by like Wednesday, and then it's gonna be Tuesday, Friday. It's gonna be up on Saturday at midnight, and it's like, what the fuck? And that's beyond my control, and there's not much I can do about that. So if next week when the finale comes out, it comes out at like 3 a.m. on Sunday, then that's why. Even though I should probably wait and publish the video during like an actual good time for the algorithm, but I don't know, man. I just don't want to make people wait, so I just want to make the videos go live as soon as possible. So yeah, that's a problem. Check out the Patreon. You're gonna watch the finale for the show already because there's only one more episode. So you're gonna watch the final episode of Arcane already on Patreon. Go check that out if you're interested. You can also watch full-length reactions if you just don't want to watch the like 10 minutes highlight. You can watch the whole thing. All right, I think we're getting ready to start. Shoutouts to Knownman. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video, Knownman. You're cool. Okay, let us begin. So, Arcane Season 1 Episode 8. Let's go. Is this Mel's past?
What should we do with her?
Just random prisoner.
She's a symbol of the old regime. Kill her now. Only one must die. Let her live and you may need to kill thousands.
We can show the people we are merciful.
I see.
A wolf has no mercy.
Alright, that was quite savage. I sleep like Jace. Is Jinx? Yeah, Jinx is there right there.
It's gone.
Jinx has it? When did she get that?
It was all for nothing.
When did she get that? I need to go back to watch the fight again. When did that happen? Because it was probably something you could see, and I missed it. Everybody wants to be my enemy!
Who lives here? Another counselor friend of yours?
No, she does. Hi, Mom. This is my girlfriend.
It's citizens living on the streets, being poisoned, having to choose between a kingpin who wants to exploit them and a government that doesn't give a shit.
Caitlin.
You're sounding pretty leftist right now, Caitlin. I hope you're, like, somewhat understanding. Not so fucking
I'll
rigid.
schedule an audience.
Thank you.
I don't know how. I mean, okay, I know that in the future they're okay with Piltover. I know Caitlyn is the sheriff in the future. Sorry if this is spoilers to literally anyone who's watching this. And I also know that Vi is also working with them, so I hope it goes okay. Oh no. They're gonna do some...
You think I can't see?
They're gonna do some Frankenstein shit with her.
I believe I can save her.
Maybe this is actually how she just loses her mind.
Sometimes death is a mercy. She can take it. And
I don't
before
know.
I begin, I must know. Are you prepared to lose her?
I think she's...
She won't die, Doctor.
Sometimes death is a mercy. I feel like whatever the fuck happens here is gonna be what it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be fucked. I'm like terrified of what's gonna happen to Jinx now. Oh, is this the lady from the beginning of the episode? She looks like a badass. Alright, Mom.
You didn't sail halfway across the continent to sample the local cuisine.
Where is she
It's been over
from?
a decade, Mel.
Since you banished me.
Such drama.
Is she from Noxus? Are you a Noxian?
Your Jace Talus has turned his eye to hextech weaponry.
She is here on a weapons trade.
War is coming. You've let the problems of your undercity fester too long.
Piltover isn't like Noxus. War.
Yeah.
Miss Medarda.
Yes?
Yes. He's for me, dear.
Okay. You got yourself a gigolo?
I'm off to sample the local cuisine.
She did.
It's not your fault.
When my parents were still alive, me and Powder used to share a bed like this. We played a game where we pretended to be bigger and bigger monsters. Sometimes I'd get carried away and she'd get scared. I didn't want her to start crying and wake my parents up, so I pretended to chase my own monsters away. No monster's gonna get you when I'm here. Then a real monster showed up.
And
I
you
just
weren't
ran away.
there. It wasn't her fault.
I left her.
It literally wasn't her fault, but she's gonna blame herself for it. Nice transition. Hello. I think she's literally gonna lose her mind. This could happen to Victor too, now that I think about it.
I'm so sorry, Powder.
Your sister is Jinx. I understand this must be painful. I'm afraid it will only get worse.
Now what's this? Oh, Donger! What's up? Oh my god, he's like, oh, oh dear. What's he looking at?
Oh, ingenious.
Oh, a fire like
Well,
hoverboard.
him improperly
Is he gonna meet up with the Echo maybe?
Wrong.
Yeah, he's right there.
Sprained my ankle.
No, you blew up, dude. Geralt of Rivia moment. This is a shot.
The threat of the Undercity is real. Your leadership is impotent.
We may not be Noxus, but Piltover isn't as helpless as you think.
Who said anything about Piltover? The council is the problem.
I really hope that Joyce doesn't do some really stupid shit.
I want you to succeed here, Jace. To grace the world with Hextech. But if you don't accept certain realities, I fear you'll end up like General Parlek. Slaughtered with your eyes closed.
This is Vi. She was born in the Undercity. Even though we failed her in countless ways, she risked everything to show me what life is really like down there. One man leads these efforts. Silco.
We've done investigations of Silco.
Led by Marcus.
And who led these investigations?
What about these? Do you know who made them?
No. Well,
Yes.
Her name is Jinx.
Yeah, she's gonna talk.
This Jinx has the gemstone.
Yeah.
Then we have to go in by force.
That could trigger war.
there are good people down there.
Bad ones, too.
Even if we
Yeah,
wanted to
alright.
invade, they have Shimmer.
We have Hextech.
They wanna just straight up go and fight.
Jace, you don't know war.
Wow, she's
do.
the one to talk him
It
down.
must be our last resort.
And I don't know if that's
There
gonna
may
be
be a
enough.
diplomatic solution.
You want to negotiate with him?
It may be the only way to avoid further bloodshed.
Remember what Vander told
Say,
you.
did you learn nothing? You can't talk to him. He hates you, everything you stand for. He will never back down.
She wants to fight,
Wait,
but I'm not sure if.
wait!
I mean, she's
I don't know.
emotional right
Back
now.
where I came from? Seems like that's what everyone up here wants.
I can fix this.
You can't. This is how things are, how they've always been. I was so stupid to think it could change.
I mean, realistically, like, if we don't take Silco down, then nothing changes. Just right, so.
Side and bottom, oil and water, that's all there is.
What about us?
Oil and water. Wasn't meant to be.
You're just saying that.
Do yourself a favor, Cupcake. Go back to that big, shiny house of yours and just forget me, okay?
Oh, Victor? Okay. He can run now. Oh, and there's boats in the background. Like back then with his toy boat. He's running past him. Okay. It worked. The fact, like an entire leg just turned metal. He's gonna... I see. I see. The leg was just an attempt. It was just the first step. Now that the theory has been proven, he's gonna do the same to the rest of his body. Victor was never wearing a mech suit. He was the mech suit. Walking into some human transportation shit. God. No, don't interfere. Girl, you're gonna die. She might die. She doesn't have... No, she's gone. Vaporize! Holy shit. I mean, she didn't have the shimmer. She wasn't gonna be able to take it. Fuck! Just destroyed. Nothing. She's literally just a pile of ash. Jesus Christ. Did it mess with the core too? Oh, the hammer! Bye. Is she gonna ask him for weapons?
You want to make Silco pay for what he's done?
I could have you arrested.
You guys really like to bandy that threat around. You said you were tired of doing nothing. That's the only sensible thing that came out of anyone's mouth tonight.
I'm not a vigilante.
No,
She is.
you're a victim.
Yes. Hell yeah.
This
Just so people notice you when you raise your hand in the boardroom? Take out his manufacturing facilities. Hit him hard and fast before he can react. So,
They're gonna act individually.
we got a deal, pretty boy?
I mean, here's the thing. Vi is being very proactive, which is she has good goals in mind, and I get this. Like, I get it. Okay, enforcers, yeah. They're shooting down the facilities. He has the hammer, let's go! He's actually here to fight. He's not just chilling. Like, this could be good or it could be bad. I just don't like conflict in general, but oh my god. They have, like, prisoners that are ready to just get juiced up and go berserk. That's their safety measure. Okay, this is the moment where Jace goes badass with the hammer. That's the only reason why he's here with the hammer, in order to show us how cool he is. Okay, Jace, let's go. Oh, Vi and Jace, let's go, both of them. Oh my god, show me Vi with the concept of punching. Let's go! That's so fucking sick, let's go. Yosh! Oh, that's so sick! Let's go! What-da! What-da! Yeah. Here we go. It's gonna shoot. That's so cool. Power slam! That's so fucking sick. Never mind what I was saying. You know, like, a part of me wasn't sure about whether or not this was good. Now it definitely, I'm just like, yeah. Because the fight scene was directed as this is like the coolest shit, because it was. But the reality is that this was probably not the best idea. Because this, like, facility has just a bunch of workers in it, including, like, kids and shit. Because the world is not black and white. Which is why I wasn't super down with the idea of just going to strike. There we go. We did seize the facility at the cost of murdering a child and rounding up all these other childs, looking at you like you're a fucking dictator or some shit. Yo, kids in shower scene? You're thinking about her. What is she thinking about? Just the fact that she said goodbye? Or did she realize that she was gonna go and fight? Because if not, that was just the, like, gayest thing ever. The fact that she's like, damn it, she left. Yes, the Jinx monkey. I would shit myself. Oh god, are her parents okay? Oh god. Oh god. That's some horror movie shit. That's the end of the episode. Of course it is. Of course it is. Okay, I'm just gonna, like, guess that I think Jinx is fucking gone. Like, this is a mixture of, like, meta knowledge that I have from, like, the game mixed with what I'm seeing, you know? Because, so in this episode we see that after Jinx exploded previous episode, which, to be fair, I kind of dismissed it, because I'm like, okay, she's gonna be fine, because I know she's gonna be fine. I know Echo's gonna be fine. So I wasn't as mortified as someone who maybe doesn't know anything about this, watching the show for the first time, being like, oh my god, did they die? What's gonna happen? But no, I know that they're gonna be fine. So I just kind of said, like, oh, they blew up, whatever, and I just kind of moved on. This episode is like, no, like, why would you move on? She's badly injured, and Silco is gonna try and save her, of course. Then, how do they save her? He goes to Cinch, and Cinch goes like, alright, I'm gonna do some shit, and we'll see what happens. And I like that he drugged Silco so Silco wouldn't, like, see what would happen to Jinx. And I like that Cinch said, because I had a daughter once, which implies that he understands what the feeling would be. And it would be something like, oh, something fucked up is happening to my daughter, so I'm gonna try and stop it, or I'm gonna try to get in the way, or I'm gonna, like, I don't know, I'm gonna do something. Cinch is like, alright, I understand that feeling. So in order to stop that from happening, I'm gonna knock him out first, and then I'm gonna experiment on Jinx. And the thing is that Silco is like, alright, do anything in order to save her. And Sin's just like, alright, anything it is. He juices her up. The thing about juicing things up is that I don't know what the side effects would be. There can be a variety of side effects, and we've seen this since like episode like 2 or 3, when we saw the kid that Silco juiced up, and the kid took out everyone and whatever, and we saw that was like a crazy version of like a person. Vander then managed to like mutate, but he retained his like consciousness. But like there's so many different variations of what Shimmer does to a motherfucker. I don't know to what degree Shimmer could do anything, but I'm gonna like bet that Shimmer's gonna like fuck up Jinx's brain. Like I'm gonna bet that that's what it is, because okay, again, I know the game, so I don't see a weird mutated version of Jinx in the game, and that means that she doesn't get like a physical mutation or something because of the Shimmer. And if it ain't physical, it's probably going to be mental, because also based on what I know about the character, I think she's gonna lose it a little bit. I'm just gonna say that. And I'm not sure to what degree. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen exactly, because realistically Jinx is already kind of in the process of losing it, you know, because of all the trauma, because of all the mix of emotions and her upbringing and everything surrounding her entire life. It is understandable that she's losing it a little bit. I think the Shimmer's gonna make it worse, and if it makes it like worse and so much worse, I think Jinx is just gonna be bad, and it's gonna be like really tragic. That's what I feel. Let me check something. Okay, sure, yeah, I'm seeing it. So I just looked up Jinx's splash art from the game, and yeah, there it is. Like let's focus on this and just do this, and yeah, there it is. And you see what I'm getting at. You see what I'm getting at here is that if you look at the colors, it's purple. So I'm just gonna have you can hang out like right there. You can hang out like right there, like yeah, above your sister. So yeah, I think now that I'm looking at it, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even like remember what Jinx's like eye color was in the game, but now that I'm looking at that, I'm like, all right, I see. And yes, of course, at the end of this episode, you see her in the background behind Caitlyn, and you see that her eye is pink purple ish, and it's glowing. Shimmer, okay. And I'm gonna look at on the cover picture that I have on my channel right now, where Jinx is in there, and she has a blue eye. So Jinx's eyes are naturally blue, and now they're become purple, and they're gonna be purple forever based on what I see in the game right there. I think she's gone. I think she's gonna be fucking gone. I think she's just gonna fucking lose. I think she lost her mind, like quite literally, and I don't know exactly what that's gonna be, but I'm like a little bit like terrified. She shows up at Caitlyn's room, and that's some horror shit, you know? Like, she looks at the fucking, like, she looks at the fucking mirror, and it has the fucking monkey in it, and then she shows up, like, right behind you. That's some horror shit. But, like, at the same time, I know Caitlyn's gonna be fine, because Caitlyn is fine. The problem is, Caitlyn's family might be, like, dead. Like, Caitlyn's parents could just be dead right now. Like, maybe when she was taking a shower, her parents just died. She didn't realize it. She just murdered everyone. So I'm, like, actually terrified of what the fuck might have just happened. Yo, shout out to the really gay scene with... There were a couple of really gay scenes between Caitlyn and Vi. When Vi was walking away, and she was like, just forget me. And Caitlyn was like, no, what about us? It's like... Y'all been hanging out for like a day, and she's already like, I don't want to lose you. And then when she's taking a shower, she's just thinking about that. She's thinking about Vi leaving. It's like, that's so, like really, when Vi just fucking put her hand next to Caitlyn at that motel or whatever, and she was like, what's it gonna be, girls or boys? Or whatever the fuck she said that one time, and she said, you're hot. You can retroactively go back to that moment and just put the like gay panic subtitle on Caitlyn, just like just internal screaming. Yeah, you can do that. Like, that's absolutely what happened. Caitlyn had like an awakening at that moment, and she's never been able to move on past that at that moment. But yeah, I'm terrified of what the fuck's gonna happen now, because like I feel like Jinx is probably gone, based on, more than anything, based on those eyes, and because I know that she's like fucking nuts in the game a little bit. Okay. Let's talk about Vi and Jace going to like murder a bunch of children. I mean, no, that's not what happened, but that's actually kind of what happened a little bit. So Vi and Caitlyn went into this audience with the council, and they were like, let's do something, and let's try and stop Silco. And you know what? It's fine, because they believe that Marcus was the one that was dealings with Silco, and so, okay, they know the truth now. The problem, Vi even told them that Jinx is the one that stole the gemstone, and she's the one that's working with Silco. So that's really mature on Vi's part. Because that's the thing, is that you can look at that and be like, oh my god, I can't believe that Vi did that. But then at the same time, yes, but Jinx is gone. And like that's the thing, is that you can see that when she like fucking went ballistic at the bridge, because I'm pretty sure that it was I think it was Jinx the one that like put all the firelights that exploded in the bridge and just murdered a bunch of people and injured Caitlyn and everything. I don't think that was Echo. I think that was Jinx the one that did that, because she was the one that was hanging out with the firelights. The moment where Vi realized what Jinx was when Vi and Caitlyn were like, Vi was helping Caitlyn stand back up after she got exploded, and then Jinx saw that, and then she just blasted them. She just started shooting her minigun at Vi and Caitlyn. So I think at that moment, like Vi can say like, yes, like I want to believe in my sister and I want to try and save her or whatever, but she literally just tried to murder her. She just tried to shoot her. I mean, it's not that she tried to shoot her, she shot her and they dodged it, you know? Like, she tried to kill her. She was fully with the intent of shooting and killing her. So in Vice's eyes, I can totally see how she would be like, my sister's gone. Because like Echo told her that, and Echo is someone you trust, Echo is like a friend, and Echo is like, no, she's gone. And then the next thing you see is she's literally gunning you down, working for the person that murdered your dad, and it's keeping all this like people just dying on the streets. It's like, yes, like that's fucked. And I feel like Vi, inevitably there's gonna be enough things that are gonna make her go like, I guess she's gone. So she goes to the council and she says her name is Jinx. So she just essentially says she's the one that causes all of this. And okay, sure. So I don't really fully blame Vi for that, and I don't think that's necessarily like a thing that is out of character or anything. But this is like, so from the beginning of the show, you were like, you know that they're gonna divide. At least I knew that, but I wasn't sure how. And the divide came from like a variety of reasons, but now we're at the point where we have fully divided. Because even 2 episodes ago, they were trying to like meet up and trying to like talk maybe. But now it's like they're fully have been divided, but they haven't been like properly like fought each other yet. They don't have a proper antagonism towards each other yet. Because, I mean, Jinx probably does, but it's more like she's emotional over the fact that she feels replaced by Caitlyn. But Vi doesn't necessarily has anything about Potter right now. She just doesn't think that whatever Powder is doing is right, and she thinks Powder is kind of gone. But they haven't like fought about it. They haven't had like an actual like like an argument, a discussion, or anything about it. They haven't exchanged many words. They just keep running into situations where they're on the opposite sides, and now we're at the point where they're so far up the opposite sides that I don't think there's any turning back. Vi is like, she's gone, and I don't believe in what she's doing, so I'm gonna actively try to fight it. And Jinx, her brain might literally be fried now, so I don't think there's any going back in that aspect either. And even if it wasn't like that, she's so emotional and so distrustful and spiteful of Caitlyn and everything that like that just fuels her like rage and anger and like everything. So yeah, I think they're both too far gone, complete opposite paths. And it's not something that is necessarily like, how do I put this? It's not something that makes no sense. It's something that's completely understandable for both. That's actually something that I will really give big praises to the show for, because the writing for the show has been fucking stellar. It's been so fucking good. And I asked people three episodes ago, and the episode that just went live on YouTube 2 days ago, I asked people who wrote the show, because it feels like it's too good. And people told me that it was actually Riot's team, like Riot's writing team, the League of Legends writing team. They were the ones that wrote the show. And I'm just like, I would not have guessed that. But they did. So fucking hell yeah. Like, awesome. Like, they told me that people gave me the name of like 2 writers, but then someone else also said that there was like a team of like 4 to 6 writers. I'm not entirely sure exactly how this goes, but apparently the writing team was internal to Riot. So fucking god damn, they popped the fuck off. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, yes, writing a show is so much different from writing a game that has no story. Like, that's the thing, is that League of Legends really has like no lore. It has lore, but it doesn't matter to the game, and the lore has been retconned like 3 times right now. Like, I remember when back in the day, the lore for League of Legends was that summoners, which was you, could summon a character to fight for you, for whatever reasons they have to fight, but they would the summoner was actually like a thing in the universe. And I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think they just completely reject that notion now, because it's dumb to have the player to be a summoner, which is someone in the universe. They said, no, fuck that. It's just a bunch of characters, and they just get into this arena, they fight for whatever. Fuck you. It's like a fighting game. We don't have to explain anything. They just have their own story. But like, before, they had to have a story that would make sense for someone to summon them, which was a handicap. But like, I remember, God, I don't even know if they changed anything regarding Sona. They might have just never touched Sona again. I feel like they just completely ignore Sona's existence, because I think they literally just realized, oh, every character like sells better than Sona does now. And they made Sona 2, and now she's an e-girl, which is, I forgot the name of that fucking character. There's a character who's now like a pink hair girl, and she's like Sona 2, because she's also like a musician, but she's an idol, and she has like very similar skills, better CC, and a character with better skins, an ultimate skin, and it's just like, yeah, they just replaced Sona. And I think they realized that because Sona's whole thing is that she can talk to the summoner, not to anyone else, because she's mute. I think they literally handicapped themselves so bad that they were like, all right, let's forget Sona exists. And I think that's just Sona now. That's sad. I like Sona. Anyway, I got super sidetracked into a weird tangent about League lore making no sense. But god damn it, the people that work on this show popped the fuck off. And I don't know for how long they've been writing on Riot. Maybe the League lore is like really good now. I need to go check out the League lore now. But like, maybe it's fucking amazing. Because I don't even know if they did the League lore, or maybe they did like the Legends of Runeterra lore. Because that's the same universe. And I think Runeterra has more lore than League does. So maybe they worked there too. I don't know what the fuck they did, but like, yo, like, it's so different to write a show than to write like a set of like paragraphs for random things in a game that like gives no attention to that. Because then for a show you have to like write dialogue, you have to like write scenes and like the screenplay. It's like, oh my god, like I can't believe they pulled off such an amazing job. Like I really can't believe that. So yeah, I can't praise that team hard enough. Like I need to praise like everyone who works in this fucking show, because oh my fucking god, like. And I know they give her like an immensely big budget in order to make like a banger of a show, and it worked. But like, a big budget doesn't mean like the show is gonna be good, because like writing is fantastic, the way every scene is directed is fantastic, the animation is insane, the music is clean, the voice acting is I can't believe how good the show is. And the show is not over yet, but like I'm just having this moment where I'm just like, god damn. Okay, talking about like sweet ass animation. There was that entire sequence when Vi and Jace went to fight people. They went to stop this like shimmer facility or whatever, because Vi decided to be proactive, and I understand why she's being proactive. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but like I don't actually have anything against her for choosing to do that, because she's been seeing nothing change for so long. And now at this point, she's like, we gotta do something. My problem with this is that I'm scared of what might happen to... It could happen to like literally any citizen of the Undercity. It could happen to Echo. It could happen to Jinx. It could happen to anyone. I'm just scared of what might happen if we go on the offensive. And we did see it shown in the show. And I'm glad that they show something like that. And I'm glad that it was such a like raw, hard cut from the hype scene into child murder. I'm glad that that's what it was, because that really created like a giant, massive impact. When you are watching this entire sequence of Jace just blasting, and I'm just like, hell yeah, go off. And then he shoots a child, and I'm just like, ooh, yeah, maybe not that. Maybe not that. And it makes you feel a little bit guilty of the fact that you were like into that scene, because that scene is cool. So you're kind of into it. But while I was into it, I was also like, I'm still not sure about this. I really like this music and this animation, so I'm kind of popping off with it. But also, I'm not sure about it. And then when he shot the child, I'm just like, there it is. There we go. There it is. Finally, we got there. Okay. Now, just to make everyone feel guilty, and that I think that was great, because it's gonna add to Jace in the future, because, and maybe even Vi a little bit, because Vi is the one that like forced this to happen almost, so it's kind of on her hands. But more than anything, it's probably gonna wait on Jace more, because Jace literally shot and killed that child. And again, Jace is not a warrior. He's like, he's literally just some dude. And somehow politics were thrust into him. And now like war has been thrust onto him. And this boy literally was just like, I just want to be Harry Potter. Like, I just want to do some like technology Harry Potter shit. I don't want to deal with any of that shit. And then all of this was thrown onto him. And then he's like, well, shit, I guess I'm going to do this. And given Jace is like, a lot of what Jace does, I'm just like, man, maybe not. But then also I understand his situation. So the fact that here now he's just blasting, I'm just like, okay, cool. We get to see Jace do something. Like, not just like sit behind the desk and just say like, man, shit's difficult. And I'm just like, yes, it is. Anyway, moving on to like more interesting plot lines. Now he's actually just swinging the hammer and shooting people, and it's like, okay, that's cool. And then he shoots the child, and that actually creates drama and character for Jace, because what's gonna happen now is that that death is gonna wait on him, probably. Like, I don't know how much of that we're gonna see next episode or in the future. I don't know if future seasons of the show would even touch this part of the story, because we might move on to a different part of the world. Like, for example, Noxus. Bang, segue. Mel is from Noxus, and Mel's mom shows up, and she's a fucking badass. She looks fucking cool. She's full of scars and she walks out pussy out, doesn't give a fuck, and it's fucking cool. And I like her, but she's an Noxian. And I like that I could identify that it was an Noxian before they said it, you know? I know enough about legal lore from back in the day that I look at her outfit and I'm like, that's a lot of black and red. Because, like, she came from a different place. I was like, okay, where's she from? Ionia? No, she doesn't look, like, peaceful. She doesn't look like a monk. Demacia? Nah, doesn't look regal. And then I was like, what other places there? Shurima is like a desert. It's nothing like that. Definitely not Bilgewater. And then I'm just thinking, like, is it Noxus? I see a lot of black. I see a lot of red. And she looks like a badass. And then they talk about Noxus. And I'm like, there we go. There it is. For those of you who don't know, maybe Arcane people, there's multiple regions in the world of League lore, multiple cities that are super important. Piltover is just one of them. And the other city, which I think becomes Son, sorry if that's a spoiler, but I think it becomes Son later, which is intimidating to think about what might happen next episode. But there's other places like Demacia, which is like very white. It's like super medieval, but like proper and regal, and just like, yes, everyone is heroic and noble and up their asses. That's Demacia. One of my favorite characters from Demacia actually is Lux. I hope if they ever show her in the show, which I believe they will, because I think she's the character that sells the most skins in the game. So if they're ever gonna like get more seasons of this show, maybe they'll adapt Demacia, and Lux will definitely be like a main character. But like, there's Noxus, and the thing about Noxus is that Noxus is this like rough, hardcore, like might is right kind of place, you know? Oh, there's also Fragile. I forgot about Fragile. I love Fragile. But Noxus is definitely this like might makes right kind of place. And so when she shows up and she's like this like, is she like queen or something? I'm not sure. They probably said it. I just didn't realize. I just didn't pay enough attention. But she seems to be a person of importance. I don't think she's gonna be like queen or some shit. I think she's just like super high up and like a council member or some shit like that in Noxus. So she banished Mel because Mel didn't vibe with the Noxian ways. And that's kind of how Noxus do. One of my favorite characters in League is Riven. And Riven was someone that she was a Noxian. She was like a Noxian soldier, and she, in the middle of a battlefield, she like ran away not to die to like some gas attack or some shit, and everyone else died. But because she ran away and didn't die, they counted her as like a deserter and like exile her. And I'm just like, that's shitty. I like Riven a lot. Noxus sucks. That's just my view on Noxus, entirely because of Riven. But yeah, that's how I see Noxus. And when she shows up and she's like, we're Noxian, I'm like, oh boy, I know exactly what you're down for. I know exactly where the deal is. And she has this conversation with Jace, and it's essentially just like, you gotta do something about this problem. You gotta start making weapons and fighting, because man, you're gonna end up dead. And all of this weighs on Jace. And what actually turns Jace into doing something is Vi. Vi comes in and she's like, we gotta do something, man. And I like that Vi got the fucking giant fist and she goes and starts punching people. That's great. That was so sick. It was great action, and I love to see that. And we killed a child. And every time I have to mention about how cool that sequence was, I need to end with, we murder a child. Child murder happened. And like, that's gonna weigh heavy on Jace. I'm repeating myself, but like, I got sidetracked. But like, I don't know if that's gonna show next episode, but that is something that's gonna... I fear that Jace is gonna become this like detached politician, you know? Like, I feel like Jace in the future is gonna be like this dude that doesn't really understand anything about the like the small guy, and he's just gonna say like, oh yes, Demacia, we're gonna save it, or whatever it takes. And then some dude shows up with a knife and he's like, fuck you, power slam, and just explodes the dude. And it's like, anyway, back to work. Just like a fucked up Superman. It's like, I don't know, Homelander. I mean, nothing can be as bad as Homelander. Anyway, moving on. That I fear that might happen to Jace. We can talk about Victor, dude. The Victor shit. Okay, that was fucked too, because okay, I need to say this because I realized while watching the episode. Victor, previous episode, injected the thing, and he tried the hex core with the shimmer on a leg, his right leg, and like I didn't realize that it was localized, but in this episode it became clear that it was localized. His leg became of this weird kind of metallic material, and he's now able to walk and run without a need for a cane. He's stronger and it works. Okay, he goes to do it again, and that's the moment that I realized that the first attempt was a localized attempt in order to see what would happen. And then he's doing it again with his arm, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm starting to realize something. And it's that when I see Victor in the game, this entire time I thought that was a mech suit. I thought that he was on a robotic suit of armor. I'm starting to think that it might not be a suit. I'm starting to think that just might be his body. Should I go? Yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Victor splash art. Y'all Arcane people, I don't know if you know anything about how is this armor? Okay, here we go. So you can see that he has like the hex thing on his back, the hand that shoots laser thingies. This is how he looks in the game. I'm not sure if this is armor, some kind of mech suit, or if this is just him. Like, it looks like armor. It looks like a suit. He looks like he's Iron Manning. Okay, what is? You can't see me anymore. That could be a gauntlet of sorts. I mean, okay, like that looks like there's no room for like a torso. That looks like there's no room for like a stomach behind those fucking metal abs. It looks like there's like no room for no organs there. But he might not have any organs, so it could be armor as much as it could just be his body now. He does seem to have hair. Like, look at it. He does seem to have hair, so that's the thing. So maybe he doesn't fully turn into a mech, but he might. So that's that's something regarding Victor. Yeah, I'm starting to worry that he's just gonna like mutate his entire body and turn into that. He's not just a suit, that's actually him. Okay, that's the thing. But he could also he could mutate his body and it could be so hideous that he hides it under the armor. That's also a possibility. But okay, okay, the most fucked up thing about that is Sky. And I suppose we have to talk about Sky now because she matters, at least for this episode. Because Sky was a character I noticed. I just never mentioned her because I don't think she mattered that much. It's that she's the assistant for Jace and Victor, and she is the one that had like small scene when she seemed to be interested in Victor, and she was like, "Hey Victor, you want to do something?" And Victor was like, "No, I'm dying." So he just kept working. And also, I'm pretty sure Sky was the little girl that you see in the flashback when Victor is with the boat and he met Singe. I'm pretty sure that that's her because I remember when I was watching that scene, the subtitle said Sky Stairs or something like that, like the closed captions. And I was like, that's weird that she has a name. And then later, you see the assistant being referred to as Sky, and I'm like, oh, that must be the same person. So that's Sky. She's been with Victor since they were kids, probably in some weird distant manner where Victor doesn't really understand that she has a crush on him or she has some kind of interest in him. And now here in this episode, it all comes together when Victor is doing the human transmutation in order to mutate his arm, and Sky sees this and she goes in and she's like, oh my god, Victor, no, tries to help him, and she gets vaporized by the Hex Core. Because this would happen to literally anyone that like comes contact with it, but it doesn't happen to Victor because he has the shimmer that Sinch gave him. But she doesn't, which means that when she comes into contact with it, she just... So, and it's fucked up because we just see this woman get vaporized when trying to help, and Victor sees it happen, and Victor is like, oh my god, she just died and it is my fault. And he's literally just standing in this pile of ashes that used to be like your childhood friend up until like a couple moments ago. That's fucked. That's really fucked. There were some fucked deaths in this episode, you know? Like, we had her getting vaporized, not live on camera. We had the child getting shot and dying. And then we had, like, the flashback to Mel when that girl got decapitated. And it's fucked because you see her get decapitated. Like, you didn't see the wound immediately. Or you didn't see it at all, actually. But when Mel's mom did the motion, and then you see, the girl just being like, I was like, she just got decapitated, and I was just focusing on the neck. I was just looking at here, and then it cut away to the back, and then from the back you see her head just start to fall, and I'm just like, that's so fucked. But it's so fucked because like, you see her get decapitated, and they like showed you the moment that like her brain like stopped functioning. She was just like, and then it slowly fell, and it was like, fuck. There were so many fuck deaths in this episode. I love this show and how much it like doesn't pull any punches. I mean you can always make things more fucked up, but you don't need to make them fucked up just for the sake of them being fucked up. This is just an example of like, they show you what you need to see, and they don't mind showing you this fucked up things, but they don't have to go the extra mile. They already are proving the point. They don't need to make it worse. So yeah, there's just something about the show that is just fucking great. I love that so much. Okay, so what else to talk about? Heimerdinger met Echo. Heimerdinger went to the Undercity, and apparently he went there to try and help. He was like, I'm going to try to offer help to the people of the Undercity. And when I was seeing that, for a second I thought that it would be some sort of a reality check for Heimerdinger, being like, oh my god, I didn't know things were this bad. And given, he probably didn't know that things were that bad, because Marcus kept saying that things are fine. So probably nobody knew. That's why the council seemed to be like, oh shit, we didn't know that. But Heimerdinger goes there, and the thing is that Heimerdinger is not stupid. So Heimerdinger goes there, and he's like, wow, damn, things are bad. But the reason why he goes there in the first place is because he wants to offer his help. But he says he seems like he's not welcome. So it's like, okay, maybe he won't be able to do much. But he meets up with Echo, and maybe they'll have some things together. Like, actually, maybe Heimerdinger will go live with the people, the Firelights. Is that what the name of the Echo's group is? Like, the Peter Pan place they have. Whatever, the Firelights hideout. Heimerdinger could go there, and he could set up a shop there, and because he's literally like one of the most prominent figures in the entire world, he's like, alright, I'm just gonna make a bunch of gadgets and shit, and I'm gonna help people. And Echo's gonna help him set up shop, and maybe that could be good. But he might set up shop in Son, not in Piltover. Yeah, that's the thing. There could be a division. Man, there was a really good scene, like a scene that I genuinely loved. And it was the scene where Caitlyn and Vi are on the bed, and they're just laying down, and Caitlyn is like, I'm sorry about what happened to your sister, and it's not your fault. And Vi blames herself because she's like, and she's reminiscing about when they used to play together when they were kids, and she was like, don't worry, I will chase away all monsters. And then when a monster did come, she says she ran away, but she didn't. She she like Marcus took her away and then she was put in prison. There was literally nothing she could have done. But she could also be referring to the fact that when they went to fight Silco, Vi actively told Powder at the moment to not go. And given it was because she was trying to take care of her, but that could also be seen as a thing of like, I left her alone. So maybe she also could blame herself for that moment too, because that's what ended up causing the entire disaster to happen that night. So yeah, it could be that. But just seeing Vi just go through all of this and just feel like shit, and Caitlyn is right there and she's trying to, like, okay, Caitlyn is so empathetic. And I think that's also part of the reason why she's in love with Vi. I'm just gonna say it, she's in love with Vi. Like, I won't take any criticism on this. That's just confirmed in my mind. But I think the reason why Caitlyn is in love with Vi is probably because Caitlyn is like really empathetic. And this is something that someone left a comment that like pointed that out to me, and that makes sense, and it's something that I probably did realize, but I just didn't mention. And that's the fact that when she went to the prison guard essentially told Caitlyn, oh yeah, we beat their asses every day. And she was like, what? Well, how many times did you beat her up? And the guard was like, you know what, I lost count. I remember that scene because he was so fucked. He was like, yeah, all cops are bastards. So except for Caitlyn, all cops are bastards unless you're like a fucking great lesbian. That was the moment of like, why did Caitlyn let Vi out of prison? And one of the main points was probably because she felt bad for the fact that they treated prisoners this way, and she didn't see much malice in Vi, and she was like, she doesn't deserve this. So she was like, I'm gonna get her out. And also because she probably was super hot. But seeing the whole story developed around Jinx and everything, and seeing how much this affects Vi, I bet that Caitlyn is seeing this and she's like, Vi's life is so tragic that it actually makes her feel like I want to protect her in some way, you know? Like she feels bad for Vi. And maybe that's also why she's kind of like really like attracted to her. And I don't mean attracted into like she's hot sense. I mean attracted in the sense of like, I want her to be around, you know, like I want us to stick together kind of thing. Because like because Caitlyn is an empathetic person and she tries to help people. Vi is a person that has a fucked up life and feels like shit, and Caitlyn is like, well, she needs someone and I am willing. So it could be a situation like that. It's like you have broken person and person that wants to help the broken. Good match. I can see that happening. And they did refer to a lot of things as like water and oil in this episode, including them. I don't think so. I think they actually do match. And a lot of this is just based on like my weird shipping from 2013, because I saw a bunch of fan art of them together and I was like, that's awesome, and that kind of became a headcanon for me. But like, no, fuck that. We're going full canon. Arcane is validating my feelings on these two characters, okay? Both characters are fucking awesome, and they're probably gonna end up banging, I hope. I just want a happy ending, man. I just want something good at the end of the show, because we're not getting a lot of that. So yeah, yeah. Okay, next episode. Jinx is probably gonna do some fucked up shit with Caitlyn. She might have murdered her family already, or will have murdered her family, and Caitlyn will be in danger, but I know Caitlyn's probably gonna be fine. So what I'm wondering is, I feel like final episode, we're gonna get a fight between Vi and Jinx. I feel like we're gonna get that for sure. I feel like Caitlyn's gonna be in trouble, and Vi's gonna be like, oh shit, I gotta save Cupcake, and then she's gonna fight with Jinx. And why would she get there though? Like, why would she be like, oh, Caitlyn is in trouble? I don't know, Jinx is gonna do some explosive shit that like everyone will notice, or maybe Jinx will actively go like, Vi, come meet me or I'll murder your girlfriend. Like, it could be something like that. Like Jinx actively orchestrates a duel, and I can see that happening. But then also the duel cannot end with either character getting apprehended or dying. It has to end with both of them just like distancing themselves even more. And then they just go off with their lives doing their own fucked up thing. Like, that's just the way it has to end. But like, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen next episode. We also have to close the Victor storyline. That's really concerning, the Victor storyline. Like, I don't know how the fuck that's gonna end up. But that is a concerning storyline. The Jinx storyline is fucked. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Okay, this show sucks, by the way. This show's so fucking good. Okay, I think that's probably gonna be it. I don't know if there's much else I want to talk about. Yeah, just it was cool to finally see Vi with the giant fist just punching people. It was fantastic. So yeah, I think that's just gonna be it. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Arcane. If you would like to watch the next episode reaction, go check out the Patreon, link in the description below. Thank you to all these Patreons showing up over here. Check the links in the description for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care everybody, bye bye.